those of you out there in Radio Land, welcome. We want you to be with us today. There's always some tidbit or some inside story that, inside story, you know, moving time after all. When the mayor is here, and he is here, and we're going to be talking about a number of things today, and we would like you to call us if you have an interest or some comment that you would like to share with the greater listening audience. That's one of the reasons why we're here. The main reason that we're here, as a matter of fact, Mayor, is to make sure that people can get news from different sources, and our job is to see that the community, we're one of the vehicles that makes that possible. We're not the only one, but we are one of the ones that's our sole reason for being, for people to have access and for us to do what we're going to do right now.
All right. You know, and I've got to give you a little anecdote, Lou. By the way, give them your phone number so that some people call. I wish people would call in. 319-234-1441. People have a tendency, they will call us, but not during the show. Yeah, they call you later.
Call us later. Yeah.
Anyway, it'd be great if people did call in and I could answer questions, but this is just an anecdote. Again, I thought I was going to be late to this, so I was rushing out the back door when I drove up here. And John Ruff, who's doing so much good stuff in our city, was walking out, so we kind of bumped into each other going out the back door. And he says, "Where are you going in such a hurry?" I says, "I'm going up to KBBG," and he got a big smile on his face. And he says, "Oh yeah," he says, "the mayor's update." He says, "I remember him well."
Isn't that something?
It is. And he said,
remembered it.
And he says, "Tell Lou to tell her that I said hi."
Oh, for heaven's
So you
sakes.
got a big hello from former Mayor John Ruff, and he remembered right off the bat. He says, "Yep, the mayor's update."
Isn't that something, you know? And we had some visitors yesterday just along that line, and she was a listener,
Yeah.
faithful listener of Zoe's show.
Oh my gosh.
And we find that through the community. It seems to be people that are more elder.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe they just like her voice or whatever it
Yeah.
is, and the concept of helping other children, you know, to read and be successful and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yes, she was very impressed. I said, gosh, so when I told Zoe about it, she's very, you know, no big deal.
Yeah. Zoe's going to grow up these days into a force to be reckoned with. Well, she is now. I mean that in a very, very positive way.
Well, she really is into education.
Yeah.
Whatever else she does, that's going to be her field somewhere or another.
Good.
Yes. Well, let's get on with it. The Sportsplex, I think, is on everybody's mind as one of the good things that we're going to be able to open up the new year with and to go forward with. And even though we have a lot of distractions we have had, and they've not been good, Mayor.
Some of them haven't.
Yeah, some of them have not been good, but as long as they're being worked on and we recognize that where we need to work and put our efforts there, sometimes we just need a straight-out concentration, you know, and we're not going to quit until we get you or whatever it is we're trying to accomplish. And that's really one of the ways that things do finally get done, or get done maybe even faster, because people realize it's easier to come together and accomplish something than it is to have each person wanting their own little thing, you know. But
That tends to happen so much too.
it does, too much.
Too much.
From Washington DC right back down
let's
to
not
the
go
county
there.
level. Yeah, you know, that is just almost madness. I don't know, everybody has to be patted on the back, and you can't have your way, so people start things and do things that they shouldn't do. And I'm saying, gosh, is this what Abe Lincoln was?
What would Abe do?
What's this?
But you mentioned the Sportsplex, Lou, and we have, and when I say we, that's, that's, the city certainly has a major role in that. But to this point, to get where we are today, and to have gotten the thing funded and built and opening has been a project that's being certainly financially driven by Mr. Rick Young, who has been the primary fundraiser and has gotten the money either given or pledged to this point, and hired the contractor and all of that stuff. But we have set, they have set, and we have set a press conference opening, kind of a ribbon cutting for January 3rd, which is a Friday, and then January 4th, the facility will be open to the public. Not everything will be ready to use yet. I mean, we're pushing this as as much as we possibly can, because we want to get people in it so that they can see it, so that we can sell memberships to those folks that might be thinking, well, I'm going to join this or the that or the whatever. We hope that they'll take a look at us, for their New Year's resolutions to lose weight and live more healthy and all that stuff. We want them to consider the facility, and we need to be open for that to happen. So there'll be a couple of things that won't be quite ready yet, but we'll be ready to tour, be ready to look at. And I was in there, what's the date? It was in Friday, late Friday, and the all-purpose flooring, the turf, the AstroTurf as they call it, is all down, and that area is all done. My goodness, it's just, there's been a lot of negativity about this, well, on many different fronts, Lou, but I gotta tell you, when you walk in that place and look at it, man, it's gorgeous. It's just gonna be an incredible thing. It's gonna be an incredible entity for Waterloo to lay claim to and to be home to. We being our leisure services department, are already booking, particularly right now, soccer for this year. I mean, I think our first soccer tournament is like the 13th of January or something. Because people, if you don't play in Waterloo, the closest next place is Cedar Rapids to go to play indoor sports. And those facilities will not be on the same level as ours, and they're full all the time. So we are already getting that. And you'll be able to play indoor soccer, and the fields are laid out like football fields. You can play touch football, you can play pickup stuff like that, basketball, all kinds of stuff. It's just an incredible facility. And as all of us have said from Jump Street on this, everybody that uses that facility will have to pay something. But those rates are so incredibly competitive, and we want and encourage and are arranging financing or pricing so that everybody will have the opportunity to use that, and we think it's very fair. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. I mean, that it will be well used. We're hoping that that's what will happen.
We're talking about a lot of the basketball leagues moving there indoors so that they can play. We have the Outdoor Gates League now, and we have those things that are summer leagues. They can now play inside all year round in this facility. So anyway, it's a big deal. It's a good deal.
It is a big deal for the city as we move forward. I wanted to ask you, Mayor Clark, as we are coming into, can't believe this, 2014, oh my goodness. I don't know for other people, but for me, it went too fast. Yeah, it just went too fast. But anyway, we need to make the new year coming in be those things that maybe didn't get finished up. Our got started, got finished, and started, and I know that there are other concerns in the community and things that, like the Y, they need help, and so it's going to be interesting to see what does happen. Do you have anything in particular that you have some long-term, short-term vision on as we come into the new year?
Well, I certainly do, Lou, and what I'm looking forward to personally with this, the first year of my third term and this new year is these two projects that have, with our Public Works facility that is open, and the Sportsplex that it will be opening in 2 weeks. My first goal is to like catch a breath here and get those two incredibly major projects running and operating efficiently and the way we want them to. And the city itself doesn't have any other major projects that we are looking at undertaking in the immediate future, which I'm kind of ready to catch my breath on those and make sure that these two operate efficiently. But we are making, Lou, incredible strides at one of my primary goals when I took office 4 years ago now, 2 terms ago, on our image. We really are, and I get so many people that have positive comments about our city now, and this, it started with, the riverfront and that fabulous amphitheater down there and all the housing along the river and all the downtown kind of shaping up. The Sportsplex certainly is doing that. All the building that we're having in the Human Services campus and the Public Works building, we're just having so many positive things that it's getting more difficult for those naysayers to be negative.
Yes.
So I think we're making great strides on presenting Waterloo with a very positive light. Where we're still falling behind, and one of my major emphases, is that the right word, emphasis? Major emphasis, is on the north end, is on the Logan
Yes.
Plaza area.
Yes.
And I haven't shared this with you because I haven't been in here, but 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, I was just in my office sitting there doing whatever I was doing, and my receptionist, Michelle, says, Mayor, there's somebody here to see you, and I went out, and it was Robert Rappaport. Just
The owner of, yes.
of Logan Plaza.
Of Logan Plaza.
He just showed up in town to kind of, I don't know what he showed up in town for, but he showed up in my office. So we had a very good conversation about Logan Plaza.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say it was very good. It was at least a conversation, which I haven't had before with him.
But
And
he's ready to sell the property,
he's
is
ready
he?
to be out of there.
So it's
He's
the
ready.
city that has to move on.
Well, you know, I don't know, Lou, if we, I mean, the asking price on that, he's got it listed. He's got $3.4 million listed. as
4 million.
3.4 is what his asking price is. So certainly the city's not in a position to just buy that without any prospective developer that's going to go in there. But we are very willing to work with a legitimate developer that is willing to put together a development agreement and create retail or tax base in that whole area there. And, you know, this is the first little chink in that armor that we've had for years and years and
For
years and years.
years, at least 20.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. So the next step is for us, and this does fall on our shoulders to convince a developer that that's a prime spot to develop. So my goal is to really get a hold of that and try to get something tangible, positive started in that Logan Plaza area.
Okay. How about housing in downtown Waterloo? I never thought I'd live to see the day on that either, but I'm glad that it is happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interest. I don't know whether I was having a conversation with you, but it was about downtown. And they were talking about such things as it suits the younger professionals. They seem to like that area and so forth. So that is definitely another good. That's okay.
If anybody hears anything in the background, I forgot to turn my cell phone
That's
off.
okay.
It's in my coat pocket.
That's okay, very
Well, it's not, and I'll reach over and turn it off.
Okay, so how much housing is available downtown?
Well, as far as the number of units, no, I should know that, but I don't, but
Well, I know there's quite a few, but.
There is.
And I understand that they sell very well.
They do, and you know,
Or
John.
rent, whatever.
Well, some of them rent, but many of them are selling, and, you know, I mentioned John Roof's name, and John is the primary driver behind that.
Yeah.
He is the one that's developing the new housing, and he's doing a fabulous job of it, and his latest project, which I think is why he was at City Hall, was to take out some building permits. He's going to build at 3rd and Lafayette, right in the adjacent lot to the west of the Queen of Peace facility down there, a group of what he's calling brownstone apartments. Now, if you're from the east, particularly, you know, in the big cities in the east, they build those what are called brownstones. They're multi-level, very quaint apartments, and he's shown us the draft of those things, and it's going to be an incredible addition to our downtown. So John has really stepped up. A fellow by the name of Brent Dahlstrom has stepped up and built all of those condos just to the east of 6th Street on the river. There is another developer that has bought the old Masonic Temple that's rehabbing the upper floors of that. They're right across from the Elks Club on is that Mulberry? No, I think that's Lafayette too. Anyway, that multi-story, it's a gorgeous old building, it has a lot of historic value. They're going to rehab, I think there's 3 floors into that, into downtown living spaces, and those places go, before they get them finished,
Exactly.
they're occupied. What we are lacking downtown are the amenities to service downtown living. You know, we need a little grocery store that's in walking distance. We need a coffee shop and donut shop. Of course, Cottonwood Canyon provides some of that, but we are working towards those things for our downtown.
And those little shops will not only service people who are down there, but it will draw other people
Yeah.
as well, you
Yeah.
know. And outdoor seating is really a winner, it seems like.
It is.
It's cold to be talking about it now, but that kind of thing, people look forward to spring, you know, and summer.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been too many years ago that you could walk through downtown Waterloo, and honestly, it was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was nothing moving
Yeah.
down there, and now you've actually got people who are walking around, you know, enjoying themselves and the Christmas lights and whatever.
We just had a meeting yesterday, Lou, that it's another exciting project that's, relatively speaking, going to be very affordable for the city. And if you can imagine Park Avenue from South Street all the way to Franklin Street.
Okay.
You know, and Park just runs from south to Franklin.
Mhm.
It's a corridor for people to get from the east side to the west side, but we are developing a plan to make that a bicycle, pedestrian, connecting corridor for downtown, for people that want to ride their bikes from wherever they are to get downtown, or just from people that want to get to the east and west. And it's one of the widest streets we have in town.
Right.
And right now, it's 4 lanes, 2 lanes going each direction, and it's, for the traffic counts, it's terribly underutilized. We don't need 4 lanes going, 2 lanes going each way there. So the plan is to develop parking, more parking for downtown on one side, and then to create a bike lane with a buffer on both sides of the street, so that it'll be clearly marked, and to create a pedestrian walkway on one side. And when you see it on paper, it's kind of hard to describe with words. When you know, pictures worth 1,000 words, you see it and you go, oh, wow, that's cool. I think we can make that happen by this summer.
Okay.
And have that, and our plan along with that is to have an afternoon that will be a bicycle event that will encourage families and singles and individuals to come downtown, to ride their bikes downtown, and to see that all that's available, and to see how we are working to accommodate bicycle and pedestrian traffic. And while to you or I, that may not sound terribly appealing, it is to those people that we're trying to attract downtown. To those young families, to those young singles that want to live downtown and downtown living, the ability to bicycle and walk where they want to go is incredibly important. And that's what we're trying to do, and we're getting it accomplished.
And I don't think there'll be any trouble with filling those places up as they come in. As you
No.
say, some of them are already taken and hasn't even been built.
Yeah.
Can you bring us up to date, Mayor Clark, on the Launch building that's not there anymore, and then they had some trouble with what was beneath the ground, and for some reason, I don't know why, I can't call its name, it's on 4th Street.
Chamberlain.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
Chamberlain.
Is there
Yeah.
any update on that?
You know, that's been kind of a quiet topic of late, Lou. So my information on Chamberlain probably is not more recent than maybe October, probably something like that. But you know, we were able to. The last issue that was up there was the smell that was coming off. You know, we did testing and testing and testing, and EPA and all kinds of people tested that and found it to be non-toxic. So they went back to the cleaning process of trying to clean the deck, the surface, the ground there, and have worked all winter long towards doing that. We do not have a use for that area yet. We have some ideas, but we do not have a use for it, and we are still working on mitigating the ground contamination that is present there, the stuff that has seeped into some homes and so forth. So it's very much very much an issue for us to try to make sure that all gets cleaned up. But I don't have any recent news on that.
Well, I don't know how soon Earth's Beauty Supply is going to open, but
Yeah.
I have a real personal interest in the success of that business coming and moving, and I think they've got really a good space. I think it will really be successful. successful. We haven't had anything like that really ever. We've had versions smaller and non-existent or failing and all of that kind of thing, but I think, and did we find out that there is a second person business that's going there now? I've been hearing it's not one of the fast foods.
Maid-Rite. Yeah, well, there again, Lou, I don't have extra super current information on that. My understanding was that, there's 3 storefronts in that little strip mall that they built, is that Earth Beauty Supply was going to take one, and Maid-Rite was a candidate for the second. And I cannot say for certainty that that's a done deal.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty, pretty good option, and I hope that it works. As far as I know, there is no one that mentioned for the 3rd storefront, but Earth Beauty Supply is one of those really huge success stories that just completely flies under the radar.
That's true.
I have driven by Earth Beauty Supply in my life in Waterloo hundreds of times. I think, there's a little store. And until they came to the city and wanted some assistance on this project, I never knew, well, I didn't know Rodney, the owner that joined, or his wife, never knew the success story. It's a huge success story.
It is,
They've had a
absolutely.
business there for 30-some years, very successful. It's unusual for family-owned businesses to have that much of a success for that long in one spot. It's an incredibly positive story. We can't wait to get them downtown. It's one of the other reasons that Mr. Rappaport, he has no tenants up there anymore. They're all gone.
They're gone, all.
They're all gone.
Absolutely all.
So we're anxious to get him downtown and anxious for that business to thrive and grow in that location. And it's going to be one more success story for us to refer to as we try to sell that downtown area. And we have people that are actively working on the housing in the Walnut neighborhood, which is just adjoining them to the north.
Right.
So.
Is that right across from the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, right,
Okay.
yeah, actually, the Boys and Girls Clubs are right in Walnut
Right.
neighborhood, so, just a lot of really positive stuff going on there. And if I have time? I don't have much time, but, again, we have so much that people don't realize it. I've lived here for 34 years now. And I was at an event last week, it was in the paper, so everybody's read this, but at the time that I went, there was an award that was given to Dorfer Engineering, which is out on Big Rock Road.
Yes.
By NASA, the National Aeronautical Space Authority. They make, at Dorfer Engineering, the vehicle, the platform, when folks that watched the space launch, that big, huge platform that the space thing sits on, that goes from where it was built to the launch pad, that moves at about a half a mile an hour.
Yeah.
That's made right here in Waterloo, Iowa, for crying out loud.
Iowa,
I
yes.
didn't know
There's
that.
a lot of people,
I
there's a
did
lot of
not
things that people
know
really,
that.
yeah.
And
are not aware
wow,
of.
it made me think,
In
when
our
somebody
backyard.
should put a book together, the fun facts of Waterloo, Iowa. That company out there, Lou, it's just incredible. We got a home tour of the factory and we got to see a lot of the things that they build, but they build stuff there that is designed to move incredibly big, heavy things from point A to point B. Because most of the time things are built and they have to be moved.
Right.
And and if you've got a 600-ton piece of equipment that has to get from point A to point B, you have to have a way to get it there. You don't just put it on the back of your pickup. These folks build those things, and it's incredible. It's just, and it's right here and out on Big Rock Road.
Yeah, amazing.
It's incredible.
I wonder if they do tours.
I doubt it, but
Probably
maybe.
not, yeah.
I think some of the stuff they do might be kind of sensitive, but, just to know that they do it, I was just blown away.
Yeah. And just to know that across the world, that we have John Deere
Yeah.
right here
Yeah.
in Waterloo. We just take that for granted as if it is nothing. John Deere's name circles around the entire world.
There's a green and yellow
Involves
tractor
much,
in every country.
and we should, we should remind people and talk about that, and how many generations sometimes that there are that have worked at John Deere, sometimes 3 and 4 generations.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And it's, because it's there, we see it every day, we take it for granted, but we can do more than that.
Yeah.
We can do more than that,
Yeah.
and we should,
Yeah.
you know. It's kind of like KBBG.
Mhm.
People
You're
come
right.
here and they get
Yeah.
a whole different perspective about, you know, we do the tours and so
Yeah.
forth. But I can't believe, you know.
Hey, speaking of that, have you ever had Dr. Norris out here for a Waterloo Schools update?
Well, he had his own show until, recently,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Well, I came from his office to this office
Yeah.
via mine real quick.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna be having
Yeah.
the group come back.
Yeah.
and be-
You ought to have Gary here though, just to give a
Yeah.
closing update on where he thinks the school system, you know, he has made great strides there also. Our schools are in a lot better shape today than they were 5 years ago. And he's made some enemies in that process
Mhm.
because he pushed very hard to get a lot of things
Yeah.
done. But
Um,
our schools are in better shape, and he needs to be thanked for that.
Yeah, well, we may let Zoe do that interview. She
Oh,
kinda-
and
when she
that-
sees him, yeah. He says, yeah, she's gonna be ready to run things, just
Yeah.
give her a few more years.
Yeah.
Well, getting off to a good start, at least I think we're off to a good start. We
Yeah.
didn't mention all the bad things because people always find those out quickly,
Mhm.
you know, and the talk is there, and we're hoping that out of that, there can come something that is doable, that we can stop, put the brakes on the violence, there's no
Well,
denying it.
let me give me 30 seconds if I can. Our crime rate, overall crime rate, Lou, since I took office 4 years ago, is down 18%. Our incidences of gun violence, though, is always on the increase. And how in the heck we can positively affect and reduce that incidence of gun violence, if anybody out there has got an idea, call me. We'll try anything to try to affect that. And I don't know how to get these kids, and I call them kids. And,
Well, I don't
to-
think the parents know how to get the kids. I
Either.
don't think in some cases the churches are
Yeah.
where they should be. Education is not where it should be. There's
Yeah.
plenty to work on.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we're losing kids while
Yeah.
we're working to go forward.
Yeah.
We're being pulled back because these
Yeah.
other things are still happening.
Yeah.
So I think it has to be something, that people can get their teeth into, feel like they will invest in something. You're always more likely to take care of those things that we invest in and have our interest. Mayor, thanks for being with us this last 4 years.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
came and went very quickly.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
It is just unbelievable. I don't know if it's age or something, but time goes by, or how busy I am, but time goes so quickly. And just Merry Christmas, Lou, to you and all of your staff here, and to all those folks that are listening. I hope everyone just has a blessed Christmas, and that
blessed
you have
Christmas.
family, and that the trouble stays out of your life for at least this period.
At least this period, yeah. Give everybody a
Yeah.
break.
Yeah.
Everybody a break.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you as the next time around. And this is how we keep up with what goes on in our city
Yeah.
is through our mayor.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the time that you put in there. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you on your next show.
It's in January. Be a new
In
year.
January,
Thanks,
for
Lou.
the brand new year. We want to say thanks to our listeners out there who listening to the mayor's update.